Those people in North Carolina, those are incredible people. Those are incredible patriots.
You want freedom? Take pride in your country. Love your nation. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots.
So we went to the people to find out just how patriotic these patriots are. We sent a crew to a Trump rally in South Carolina to give those gathered there a simple citizenship test, the same ones immigrants are required to take. And this is what happens when the citizenship hits the fan.
Number one, what is the supreme law of the land?
No! Guns, liberty, and justice.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
32.
10?
No. I don't know.
20-something, I think. Maybe 13. I'm not really sure on that. I worry about number 1 and number 2.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
As an immigrant in the process of obtaining citizenship, I want to say this does not surprise me.
He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
If he says it, then I'll go with it. And if he wants to be a dictator, then so be it.
Having had to sift through endless hate-filled comments over the many years I've spent covering US politics from self-described patriots with opposing political views, I've always wondered how they'd fare if actually questioned on the very subjects they claim to know and love so dearly. Would they be able to recite the Pledge of Allegiance backwards to the tune of America the Great, or would they scramble like Trump trying to remember a single Bible passage? He's a God-fearing man, remember?
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book, and you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favorite Bible verses are, and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal.
Well, during a follow-up segment on Jimmy Kimmel, not only did he speak on the matter of how Trump simply can't let go of the fact that he was laughed at by a room of celebrities, which you know has been chewing away at his ego daily.
We have both been immortalized on social media by our former president, Donald Trump. Yeah. Has there ever been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent, George Slopanopoulos. He would make everybody on stage look bigger, stronger, and more glamorous. Blah, blah, blah. Make America great again. Okay, now, see if you can guess which former president just posted that on TruthSearch. To the former president, is that true? Do you have to use a teleprompter when speaking about President Trump? Or are you able to just kind of riff on your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's so stupid.
Damn! Kimmel then took the fight to the streets and opted to put the MAGA patriots to the test.
What brings y'all here today?
See Donald Trump himself.
Trump.
Donald Trump!
Trump, baby. Trump.
Yeah, let's get a good look at the sweatshirt and the fanny pack.
Yeah.
He sent out one of his colleagues to ask them simple questions found in the US citizenship test.
We're all here today asking real Americans if they could pass the citizenship test. Do you think you could do it?
Sure.
Maybe.
Easily.
And the results were, well, let's just say it's no surprise that Trump's followers believe him when he claims things like you need ID to buy bread.
Number one, what is the supreme law of the land?
No! Guns, liberty, and justice.
Wow. I have no idea.
We might fail this.
Good question. Well, I can answer that one right now.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
32.
10?
No. I don't know.
I am shocked. Shocked Well, not that shocked.
Crazy thing is, having studied for said test, these are by far and away some of the easier questions.
20-something, I think. Maybe 13. I'm not really sure on that. I worry about number 1 and number 2.
What are the first 3 words of the Constitution?
Liberty and happiness.
And this just reaffirms a frustration that I have when I discuss the subject of immigration with those who don't quite understand the entire process. But it's an extensive process involving, yes, tests like such. Tests that studies have shown only 1 in 3 Americans would actually pass. And I'm not here to scrutinize people for not knowing every crevice of US history, but not everyone parades the word patriot around like Trump supporters. They think because they clad themselves in red, white, and blue that they are more American than anyone else.
No, Donald Trump. You know, I mean, that's the thing is people, you know, I have his phone number in my phone book. He was the guy that came to the bars and asked me about which cocktail waitress was single. You know, that's who he was.
This is back in the 90s.
Not that long, no, back in the 2000s, quite honestly. And so there's this part of you that just goes, well, that guy shouldn't be president. But I was wrong, and he was. And our democracy, I believe, paid a price certainly around the...
And they're pressed on simple questions like, what are the first 3 words of the Constitution? They're struggling with the 3 part more so than the actual Constitution.
What are the first 3 words of the Constitution?
In God we trust.
Okay, so that's 4. Sing the national anthem for me.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light that so proudly we sing as the twilight last sing stripes and bright stars and the perilous skies.
The what?
It's the perilous skies.
So close, you guys. That was so close.
Not to forget that this is also the same Constitution they'd happily set alight if it meant appeasing the dictator that they want so bad.
They're looking for the people that rigged the election, and that's the people they go after. They got away with something, they're never going to get away with it again. Look what they've done to the country. Then you look at January 6th. It was a rigged election, and we're looking at it, and almost everybody in this room agree. It was a rigged election, but we won much bigger with millions and millions more votes in 2020. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election. They go after the guys that complain about the election, not the guys that rigged the election. Isn't that interesting, right? I only want to be a dictator for one day.
Just so you know, that is how it starts.
Because nothing is more patriotic than authoritarianism, right?
I'd rather have Donald Trump as a dictator for 4 years. Absolutely. This country needs a dictator. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
If he says it, then I'll go with it. And if he wants to be a dictator, then so be it.
And as Jon Stewart put it so perfectly, it's all performative. They're not patriotic. They are partial to a con man.
Patriots, festooned in American flags, co-signing dictatorship. Remember We the People? You know there's more words after that, right? Smaller font, still binding. Look, if you want to love Trump, love him. Go to the rallies, buy the sneakers. You want to give him absolute power? You want him to be the leader uber alles? You want him to have the right of kings? You do you. But stop framing it as patriotism.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.